Do you have a local game store that has Sorcery TCG tournaments? I don't have one exactly at the place where I live, but a few hours away there is a game store that has Sorcery TCG tournament called White Rabbit Community Game Store in Essen and also in Aachen. But Essen is more close to my place where I live in Germany. So I went actually this week to White Rabbit in Essen and played Sorcery TCG Arthurian Legends Sealed. That was an amazing experience, but let me tell you at first, I had to go through a lot of hoops to get there because it was, it was held under the week. During the week, sorry. And I had to go there to Essen in the evening, make sure I come there on time, then play the tournament, and afterwards, in the late evening slash night, travel back to the place where I live. And that took me around 2.5 hours for one way. So, that was quite heavy, but it turned out to be an amazing experience, actually. And I want to tell you about this experience. I want to tell you about the cards I played in my sealed pool, the cards that I pulled, and I decided to take into my deck. And the mistakes I made along the way, because I think in Sorcery particularly, it is a TCG, yes, but I think it has a lot of board game vibes because, I think the deck is only half of your rent, and the other half is how you play out your cards on the battlefield with all these different areas where you can place them, where you can move them, at which time in the game do you decide to play which card, when do you draw a side, when do you draw a spell, when do you play a side, where do you play a side. A lot of decisions to make in this game, and I made a lot of mistakes. Even though I think I had an amazing sealed pool, I pulled so many great cards, and I actually choose to build my deck around these 4 knights here, and I even pulled more knights. I pulled an additional foil knight here, the Sir Tom Thumb, but as you might know from other videos, or you are an active member of the Sorcery TCG community, then you know that too, that not every, Sir in Arthurian Legends, the Sirs are the knights, so to say, and they say unique down here. Not every unique Sir is actually unique, but I actually pulled three unique Sirs, which one of is actually a real unique, and you can see that in the power level when you compare the stats and the effects of these knights too. But I decided to left out Sir Tom Thumb from my deck and decide to center my deck around these 4 knights. The Purple Knight, which has a lance, the Verdant Knight, which also has a lance, but basically is the same as Purple Knight, just with other thresholds. Then Sir Peleas, he doesn't have a lance, but he has slightly better stats right off the bat, and he can submerge and move really between water locations. And then Sir Yvain, which costs a lot more to cast. You need a lot more threshold too, but then comes with a lance, and on Genesis gives +2 power to an allied beast that you choose and to himself too. So he's basically a 5/4 body and adds 2 power to a beast that you have on board. So I thought, this is such a powerhouse, I need to play this. And then I saw, okay, I need to center also my sides around 2 earth and 2 water. So I thought, it is quite okay to then also pick Sir Peleas to go along, and also Verdant Knight, because he's basically having the same threshold, just a little bit less than Sir Yvain. And then I also had the Purple Knight, and I decided to go with a 4-color deck because of this, but also because I drew a lot of really good sides into my sealed pool. And the first side was Fields of Camlan, and I didn't really know the power level of this card as I pulled it, and also as I had it in my first opening hand in my first game. So I used my mulligan to get rid of this because I thought, maybe it's not that good, but it turned out to be one of the best cards actually in my deck. And also, I then focused too heavily on this card and lost my games because of that. But I then choose to go with a second Fireside, the Forge, that pay 1 gets a lance on the board. Then I pulled actually a second really unique site called Glastonbury Tor. It provides me an air, an earth, and a fire threshold. So perfectly for my 4-color deck, so to say, with the different knights. Then I also had another multiple threshold element card that's called Wedding Hall. Even though it doesn't provide me any mana, it gives me all the 4 thresholds, and so I picked this card for sure into my deck. I also had an annual fair that just if I pay 1 gains me a threshold of my choice. I thought perfectly for the 4-color deck. I had a town too, and I picked some exceptional minions in my deck, so I thought this is quite nice. Also considering that I need to pay for annual fair and I also don't get mana of Wedding Hall. Paying 1 less for my exceptionals might be coming in handy. I also pulled another exceptional side, an Earth one, so perfectly for my strategy going into Sir Yvain, I thought. Also, it protects me from the Fairy City, for example, or from other any projectiles that my opponent might throw at me, like the magic missiles. Then I choose 2 additional Earth sites to go with it. The effect is kind of nice on Hunter's Lodge, but it didn't come in at my games. Then I choose 3 water sites actually to go along. And so I wanted to make sure that I get my threshold for water as soon as possible. Also, I think Bog is an exceptional card. It gains you just a little bit stall time. Also, when you are building up your board. And so I think Bog is just an amazing card. Then I got a Stream and then also a Pond, which I think also helps me with if I have Wedding Hall. I need to pay 1 less for my beast. And I want to get a beast out and play alongside with Sir Yvain, right? So the difficult part just in Sorcery is I have to say that you're not really drawing that many cards. And so you draw 6 cards in the beginning. You draw 3 sides and you also draw 3 spells, and then you can mulligan, so you can just choose to switch those cards up. And there was a little bit of confusion in the tournament for as we are all pretty new to Sorcery, if it's possible to choose 3 cards from each deck, so 3 cards from the spell deck and 3 cards from the side deck, and then mulligan those 6 cards away, or if it is 3 cards in total, so 3 cards from both the side deck and the spell book. But it ended up, at least in the tournament, saying that you can just mulligan 6 cards in total, so 3 cards from your side deck and also 3 cards from your spell book. And I was playing the Spellslinger avatar, so I had 4 spells in my starting hand, so I could basically choose to take 1 and mulligan 3 if I'd like to. And in the beginning, in my first game, I actually had Fields of Camlan in my opening hand. Like I said, I mulliganed it away and put it right down at the last card. That was a mistake too. And I really needed this card during my first game. But before I'm coming to my first game, I really want to show you what I choose to pick into my deck along with these knights and these sides, because I think that's like what I was centering around my strategy. I also want to show you, I had really amazing pulls actually, as I already showed you all of the uniques that I got, but then I got 3 foils along with it. I got the Sir Tom, I already showed it to you. The Hamlet's Ablaze, I think the artwork is just amazing in foil. And then also a Lane Line Henge in foil too. And that is, that was quite a blast of a beginning to the sealed event, I have to say. So, also keep in mind, in the end, after we talked about the tournament and about my deck choice and mistakes that I made, I would really like to open these 3 packs with you. So stay with me until that. And also let me know in the comments if you would have done anything differently than me here with building the deck and choosing the strategy. And also if you are playing Sorcery locally or online, because I can't really do these local tournaments at the White Rabbit store that often. Maybe, just maybe, I will do once a month, but still it's a heavily pressure for me to travel that much during the week. But it was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of nice people, a lot of people also that I know from Flesh and Blood. A few at least were there, and so that was really nice. I just love the White Rabbit store. I'm not affiliated with them, but just wanted to get that out. So now let's look actually into the deck that I built. So I showed you the knights and the sides, and now I will show you my earth cards, because actually I got a really nice beast here, and I thought if I just draw these two, then it's just game, right? So yeah, Wyvern, it's an airborne beast, costs 6 with 2 earth threshold, and has 5 5 body. Then I had the brown bears, also nice with the Sir. The hunting party, I really like this, because you can lose stealth for your nearby enemies, and it's a ranged unit, so I really like that one. I think that one was also nice here. I included that because I knew I maybe need more sides than usual. So yeah, that one was a choice for me. Then Stone Rain, I thought like if I am drawing a lot of sides, maybe Stone Rain can come in handy too. Also, it's a removal card, so why not? Then I thought Rescue might be a nice card. Also, when I play Fields of Camlan and I may need to destroy one of my cards that I want to get back. Then I had another great beast, the Lake Efang, has lethal and submerge, goes also nicely with my water earth strategy. Also a Lagborg cat, such a great card. It's so powerful, coming out for only 3 mana and has a 4 body, and basically has no downside. The Sly Fox I think is a really great card. Then a Thieving Magpie, because I thought there will be a lot of lances running around, so I maybe want to get rid of those with the Magpie. And also it's a beast, you can just choose it with Discer. Then I had Grievous Assault. I think this is just an amazing card. It replaces itself and silences a target nearby minion. It also can be cast just by any ally, so you might be getting rid of any card that you can't get rid of by your opponent. Then I had a Fine Courser, and I need to say this was bad. I drew it and I didn't have anything to go with it, and it was just a dead card for me. Actually, it did 2 damage, but didn't do anything else for me. When it comes up though, let's say it comes up with Discer, that's why I was choosing to play it, then it's just great, right? But it never happened, and there is not a lot of card draw in Sorcery, so most likely you will not see your whole deck, maybe not even the half of your deck. Then I choose Magic Missiles. This came up actually in my first game. I had it in my opening hand. And it just shoot it for 3 damage on the avatar, and that was a huge mistake. Like, it should have waited at least 2 turns or 3 when my opponent has 1 or 2 minions out, and I could actually have won that game, I think, with this card if I just had not wasted it on 3 damage for the avatar, and I could get rid of 2 of his minion, one of the airborne birds, and then a 2 body. But I was just a little bit on the aggressive side. That was something I learned for sure. Then I choose in the Red Cap Pories. Though I have to say I sided this in after my first game, because I was just drawing too many of the low body minions. I have a few low body minions here. The Kettle Top is 1. Then I have the Sly Fox 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 low body minions, and then I also had 3 of the families in the deck, and I choose to side those 3 out because I ended up didn't really needing the extra threshold for off of them, and then choosing to get Arc Lightning, Vikings, and then the Red Cap Pories in for that. But in the second game it didn't really work out for me either. But I think just in general this is just such a great card. It came in good. I actually drew it and did a lot of damage with it, but the Red Priest Robin, I really misplayed this card. In general, I think this is a great card, but I really just misplayed where I placed it, and then it didn't do any damage and didn't really do anything for me. Shatter Strike, Joust, and Burning Hands, and I think overall, I think this deck is pretty great, and as I said, I also included Arc Lightning and Vikings after my first game and get rid of the villagers. So just let me know what you think in general about the deck build, about the choices, and let me explain what really went wrong for me in the game. Because, like I said, you have to make a lot of choices on the board. And also you need to make a choice every turn what card you want to draw, right? You are drawing one card in the beginning and you can choose to either draw a side or a spell. And then you may play or draw an additional side off of your spell slinger. So basically my... I was a little bit feared that maybe when I draw one of these knights that have a lot of threshold, I don't have the threshold on the board. And then I was just caught up in drawing a lot of sides, and then forgetting that I also need spells to win the game in the end. And so I ended up drawing a lot of sides, playing them, and then also, mismanaging where I put the minions that I have available from my starting hand. And so basically that was a big mistake for me. But in the first game, I actually drew all my sides, and because I wanted to get to Fields of Camlan, and I knew I mulliganed this away right from the beginning, big mistake. But my opponent basically had a card called a guard, I think. He had 3 minions on the board, all 4 bodies. And he basically put his Spellslinger 1 step forward, played guards, and got 3, 6, 9 foot soldiers off of that. And I was like, I was nearly dead, and I had a Wyvern on board, and then I thought like, my Wyvern can't get rid of all of these foot soldiers for me, and he can just block all the time with his foot soldiers. So I was like, okay, I know I have an out. I have this board wipe called Fields of Camlan, and I just drew sides all the time. Played out Fields of Camlan, wiped the whole board. It was such an amazing play, but basically I had the Wyvern. Then the Spellslinger was here, and then he had a 2 or 3 body minion. I'm not really a 4 body, I think. Like I said, was here, and so I said, no problem. I can just take out the Wyvern, right? Take the Wyvern and take out his minion after I play Fields of Camlan, and then I'm basically on the edge of the game again. But what I didn't knew was that actually he could just come in with the Spellslinger that was here, and block my attack off of the Wyvern, and he takes 5 damage, but his minion survives the attack from the Wyvern. And that basically lost me the game, because he then just in the next round could just jump with his minion on my avatar and kill him with his damage. And I really misplayed where I placed all of my sides, because I basically forgot to put 2 sides right next to my Spellslinger, so my Spellslinger couldn't move to left or right. He could only move upwards, and that really doesn't escape him from the attack from my opponent. So I learned a lot in that game for sure. I don't think that my deck building was that bad, but just my decisions of like where I place the cards on the board, and when I draw a side, when I don't draw a side, and just mismanaging the power level of Fields of Camlan. And don't get me wrong, like Fields of Camlan is a unique side. You will probably not see it in every other sealed pool, but it is such a powerhouse, and you can stall with it, right? When you have it, you can just like, okay, I just build up my sides at first, which is perfect for me in this multicolor deck, and then when my opponent has a few things on board, maybe even you just build a back row, and then after you build the back row, go forward, and then when your opponent slowly moves towards you, maybe in the 4th round, or even the 5th round, I think, you can just still play Fields of Camlan, wipe nearly the whole board, and then you can come out with your minions. And so that is, I think, would have been a great strategy for me here, but I didn't realize that during the tournament. Then my second game, I also lost that one. Played a fellow Flesh and Blood player. Pretty much I was very happy to see some familiar faces. And I lost that game too. He played the, what is it called? The Archimago. Yeah, that's right. So it was an even game in the beginning, I think. But then also I just got caught up in like hoping to get Fields of Camlan. And then after I got Fields of Camlan, I thought, then I can start pulling my, drawing my spells and come back. But I needed so much time to get to Fields of Camlan, and then suddenly, I mean, in the beginning he only had like 2 body minions, and I was like, okay, I can pretty much destroy all of those, and then come out with my my brown bear that I had, and just get the edge on the game there. But turned out he had a removal spell for my brown bears afterwards, and then he played like one of those giants that has 6 power, and that was basically game, because I had only 3 sides in my hand that I couldn't use anymore and get advantage of. And so definitely a big sign for me that I drew too many sides in that game too. And also I have to say these knights, I didn't drew the Surrey Vane once. I pulled all of these and I mismanaged these a lot too. So in my first game, I actually drew Verdant's Knight right off the bat. I thought like, that's perfect, right? I can do some pressure on the board. I got this knight here, get a lance on it. He has 2 defense, 3 attack. And then my opponent had a bird on board. It was so funny. And I just didn't realize it, that this is like so bad for me actually, because he had this card, the Forge. He played the Forge and he played the bird. And then the bird that basically gets the lance and can just kill the Verdant Knight. And I was like not thinking about that. I don't know why, but I could have just moved my Verdant Knight here or placed it in the beginning here. And just when he decides to move forward, stall a little bit with my Verdant Knight. But I definitely should have kept the Verdant Knight just around. And like I said, I had the magic missiles. Where is it? So I had the magic missiles. I blew it on the avatar, and I should definitely kept it for the bird, and then also the other 2 power minion that he had. And I could have just gotten rid of 2 minions with the magic missiles, and then had my Verdant Knight on board and could get pressure on the board by that. But I just lost the Verdant Knight to this Red Priest Robin, and that was just a big mistake. In the second game, I got both of these knights. And then again, the purple knight was nice, but a similar situation where like the purple knight, he had a lance, but then also he could make a lance and also destroy my purple knight just with a low body minion. So it didn't really get me an advantage. And then I got the Serpileas, but it was not that effective. I mean, Submerge is nice, but why would I submerge it when I want to defend with it? Then it also moves freely between water locations, but I didn't really could move anywhere and do pressure because there weren't really that many water sites. But I don't want to blame these cards, but this was just my experience at this particular tournament, and I really loved playing this tournament because I could learn so much about the interaction of the game, about like what cards to play when. And also afterwards I looked through my pool again and thought like, okay, what kind of cards could I have just put into my deck? I think this card in particular, also knowing that I have Fields of Camlan, is just an amazing card to play. I can just leave it in my hand and play it out then when I have Fields of Camlan and get rid of the last minion. I'm basically making sure that my opponent can't block the attack of Harassing Ruffians with his Spellslinger. I think that is a card I should have definitely included in my game. Also, some other additions, I also had Shameless Squire. I think this is such an amazing card because it has a lance, it can give the lance to another minion, and also on Genesis it taps a target nearby enemy and that enemy drops everything. So this could have definitely saved me from the Red Priest Robin that had a lance and could have protected my knight, and I think that is definitely what a Shameless Squire is for. He needs to protect all the knights, and I had so many knights, so definitely a consideration next time for me. Then I had the Tooth Fairies. I didn't play those at all too, but those are just amazing because I also can make sure my opponent can't really defend with that many minions. They are airborne too and have 2 attacks, so they can't be really killed by the low body birds, as I call them. And I think that is an inclusion I should have made. Then the Sherwood Huntress, also that one I think would have been a great inclusion in my deck because it's a ranged attack and I can basically get rid of the minions. I think this is basically a stall card in the beginning to play and just make sure that not that many minions come that far near to me. Then also some other considerations. I think basically Sword of Shield should have really been in my deck actually, because even though I played some low body minions, I could have then just powered them up with Sword and Shield, and even if my low body minion drops, the Sword and Shield gets destroyed. Later on my Sir can just maybe get the Sword and Shield back. And then also these 2 cards, Power of Flight and Tactical Move. I think basically when I want to stall, the Tactical Move can be really good because I can either move my minions away out of danger, I can move my Spellslinger out of danger, And then also Power of Flight can also just protect one of my minions for a turn and then also replaces itself. So even though it doesn't get you +1 card, it replaces itself and gets you faster through your deck, and then also protects just one of your minions so that one doesn't die, at least from combat. So what I really like about Seal 2 now is that I have the Seal pool. I will keep it like that. I will only take out the foils. And then I will play with this because I have 3 sealed decks already, and now I can just play here locally with a friend, can invite him and show him sorcery. And also then I can test the different strategies that I have with the sealed pools and learn that way without just having to get a 5-hour ride to a local tournament like the White Rabbit store. And I can't just do that every week, right? But I would love to do that more often. So definitely, if you like those videos, make sure to like the video as well. And also now let's keep those cards away here. Get those cards out of the way and open up these 3 packs that I still have. And one of those packs, actually, if you don't know, when you go to a local tournament, you're getting some rewards. I think for sorcery, dust is a thing, so those are rewards points that you get for participating in events. And then also I got one booster in the end that was gifted to me because I was participating in the event. And that is super amazing, right? And then I bought just 2 additional boosters with it. The last 2 out of the box that was there actually. So we have a Yellow Knight here. Pretty, just a counterpart to the Purple Knight and the Verdant Knight. Then we have Degradation, and maybe we get... Oh, nice! We have a Withered Stand. Such a great card. I'm happy to be pulling this card. Then we have a Keening Banshee, a Lake Afang, a Pond. We have Rescue, love that card. We have Shellycoat, Thankless Squire, not the Curio. And then we have another Hamlet's Ablaze. Just look at this amazing artwork. We have Reckless Squire and the Omnis Owl. Alright, let's go to the second pack. And make sure, like I said, when you're here and watching these videos and you want to see more sorcery content from the Fabled Academy, make sure to subscribe as well. Redcap Horace, the Blue Knight, and that is the last one, I think, and the line of those 2 threshold, 3/2 body. And we have Castles Ablaze, nice. Yeah, I needed that still for my playset. So great to get that too. We have Hyter Sprites. I could have played those too. Let me know if you would have played those in my sealed pool. The Lumbering Giant. I decided to do not play this because this basically can't defend, and it lost me a game in my in another tournament that I played. So we have the Fishman's Family, Lettuce Tray, Harassing Raffians, the Band of Thieves, Swindler Troop, Kettletop Leprechaun, and Rescue in the end here again. Nice. So we're coming to the last pack, and I really like sorcery. I just have to say this again here. Really loving the art and the game style. I just love to play the tournament. I'm so happy that White Rabbit actually organizes all of these. And the Wild Hunt is our last elite. I already had that, so that one is for sale or for trade. Just let me know if you maybe want to do a trade. And just looking if there's anything else here. It isn't the case for this one, but maybe in the next opening we will see. So thank you so much for staying with me the whole video. And we see each other in the next video actually, because there will be a lot more sorcery content on the Fabled Academy.